Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! The morning breeze, a gentle caress on his skin, whispered through the open window, causing the blinds to dance gracefully. Bentley Morgan stood before the window, his reflection in the glass a picture of precision. His fingers fidgeted with his tie, ensuring it aligned symmetrically with the collar of his crisp navy suit. At 32, life had gifted him with the long-awaited marketing role at Prism Apparel, a fashion house ascendant. As he prepared for the virtual board meeting, his laptop buzzed with activity. He ran a sound check, his voice calm and controlled. Testing. 1, 2. The response was the rapid chiming of incoming colleagues, their faces filling the screen's grids. Good morning, Bentley. Rebecca's voice carried through, her voice crisp and cheerful even at this early hour. His presentation on market trends sat minimized at the bottom of his screen, ready to be shared with 50-plus colleagues in 5 minutes. Just breathe, he whispered to himself, taking a final glance around his makeshift home office, actually the corner of his living room, to ensure everything looked professional. The call continued to fill with faces as Bentley reviewed his notes one last time. His phone buzzed with a text from his neighbor about a water leak in the building, momentarily pulling his attention away.
Mr. Morgan, we'll have you present after the CEO's introduction, the meeting coordinator announced. Sounds good, Bentley responded, quickly typing a reply to his neighbor. The distraction lasted only seconds, but it was enough for him to miss a crucial detail. His bedroom door had swung open behind him, revealing precisely what he'd meant to keep hidden. The CEO began speaking, and Bentley returned his full attention to the screen, unaware of what was now visible in his background. His colleagues saw it immediately, a collection of women's clothing hanging on a clothing rack, and most prominently, a striking cobalt blue cocktail dress displayed on a mannequin. The elegant piece featured delicate beadwork across the bodice and a flowing skirt that caught the morning light streaming through his bedroom window. Bentley remained oblivious, nodding along to the CEO's speech about quarterly projections and future initiatives. The private message notification sound pinged, but he ignored it, not wanting to appear distracted during the important meeting. More pings followed, then more. His concentration faltered as the notifications continued. Finally, during a brief transition between speakers, he glanced at the chat. Nice dress collection, Bentley, read the first message from Kevin in accounting. That blue number would look stunning at the holiday party, another colleague had written, followed by a winking emoji. Blood drained from his face as realization dawned. Bentley spun around in his chair, coming face to face with his exposed secret. The bedroom door had betrayed him, revealing the carefully curated collection he'd been building for years. Dresses, blouses, skirts, all arranged with loving care. His heart pounded against his ribcage as he jumped up, rushed to the door, and slammed it shut. When he returned to his seat, dozens of eyes stared back at him through the screen, expressions ranging from amused to confused to intrigued. Bentley, your presentation? Rebecca prompted, her voice cutting through his panic. Right, yes. His voice cracked as he fumbled to share his screen. The presentation went by in a blur, his usually confident delivery replaced by a mechanical recitation of facts and figures. He couldn't focus on anything except the knowledge that his most private passion was now office gossip. As soon as the meeting ended, Bentley slammed his laptop shut and collapsed back in his chair, heart still racing. His phone immediately exploded with notifications, screenshots of his background already circulating through office chat groups and private messages. This can't be happening,
he groaned, burying his face in his hands. Years of carefully maintaining boundaries between his professional life and personal interests had crumbled in an instant. For 3 days, Bentley called in sick, unable to face his colleagues. He ignored emails, except for critical work matters, and let his voicemail collect messages. On the 4th day, Rebecca called directly. "Bentley, we need to talk about your return to the office tomorrow," she said, without preamble when he finally answered.
"I'm considering extending my sick leave,"
he replied, his voice hollow.
"The team needs you here. The quarterly campaign launch is next week."
After a pause, she added more gently,
"And for what it's worth, nobody cares about what was in your background. We're professionals."
But the screenshots that continued to appear in his inbox suggested otherwise. His privacy had been violated, his secret exposed. Yet, as the initial shock faded, determination began to replace his embarrassment. He'd worked too hard to let this derail his career.
"I'll be there,"
he finally told Rebecca. That night, he stood before his bedroom mirror, staring at his reflection. The brown-haired marketing professional in pressed slacks and a button-down shirt looked back at him, but his eyes drifted to the blue cocktail dress hanging nearby.
No more hiding,
he decided. The next morning, Bentley walked into Prism Apparel's gleaming headquarters wearing a charcoal gray suit, white shirt, and burgundy tie, the most conservative outfit in his wardrobe. Conversations hushed as he passed through the open office space. Smirks and whispers followed him to his desk, where he found a small gift bag with a tag reading, "From the Break Room Crew." Inside was a miniature bottle of blue nail polish. Rather than retreat, Bentley placed the polish on his desk prominently and began his workday. By lunchtime, the expected confrontation arrived in the form of 3 colleagues stopping by his desk.
"So, Bentley,"
began Trevor from the design team, barely containing his amusement.
"Halloween preparation already? That's commitment."
Before Bentley could respond, Michelle from HR approached, giving Trevor a sharp look. "That's enough. Back to your desk." Once Trevor retreated, Michelle turned to Bentley.
"If you're experiencing any harassment, please report it immediately." "Thank you," Bentley replied. "But I can handle this."
After she left, he made a decision. It was time to control the narrative. He sent an email to the entire marketing department. "Lunch meeting in conference room C1230. Important campaign discussion." At the appointed time, the conference room filled with curious colleagues. Bentley stood at the head of the table, projector ready, but screen still blank.
"Thanks for coming,"
he began, his heart pounding, but his voice steady.
"Before we discuss the new campaign, I need to address the elephant in the room, or rather, the blue dress in my bedroom."
A few uncomfortable chuckles rippled through the room.
"What you saw in my background wasn't a prank or a costume. I've been a crossdresser for most of my adult life. It's a part of who I am that I've kept private. But since that's no longer an option, I'd rather be honest than become the subject of speculation."
The room fell silent. Bentley took a deep breath and continued. "I'm still the same marketing specialist who helped deliver last quarter's successful campaign. My wardrobe choices at home don't affect my professional capabilities." He paused, scanning the faces around the table.
"Now, if there are any questions before we move on to actual work matters, I'm happy to answer them respectfully."
For a moment, no one spoke. Then Rebecca cleared her throat. "Thank you for your honesty, Bentley. That couldn't have been easy." She turned to the team. "And I expect everyone to maintain professional behavior. Now, the campaign?" As Bentley launched into his presentation, the tension in the room gradually eased. By the end of the meeting, conversation had returned to normal, focused on deadlines and marketing strategies rather than his personal life. That afternoon, as Bentley was gathering his things to leave, Rebecca appeared at his desk. "Do you have a minute? Gregory wants to see us in his office." Gregory Walsh, the chief marketing officer, was waiting when they arrived at his corner office overlooking the city. His expression was unreadable as he gestured for them to sit.
"Bentley," he began, "I heard about your meeting today. Bold move."
"It seemed better than becoming office gossip, sir." Gregory nodded thoughtfully.
"You know we're launching our Spectrum line next month, the gender-inclusive collection we've been developing?"
"Of course."
"I've been working on some of the preliminary marketing materials. The campaign is missing something. Authenticity."
Gregory leaned forward.
"We have professional models lined up, but after today's events, I'm wondering if there's an opportunity here."
Bentley's brow furrowed. "What kind of opportunity? Would you be interested in modeling for the campaign? Not as Bentley, necessarily. As, what name do you use when you're dressed?" The question caught him off guard.
"Lauren,"
he answered after a pause.
"I sometimes go by Lauren." "Lauren," Gregory repeated. "Well, would Lauren be interested in becoming the face of our most progressive campaign to date?"
Bentley stared at him in disbelief.
"You want me to model women's clothing for a professional campaign?" "Not just women's clothing. Fluid fashion. Pieces designed to be worn by anyone who appreciates them. We've been talking about breaking boundaries, and this seems like the perfect chance to practice what we preach."
Gregory's expression softened.
"Plus, you clearly have good taste. That blue dress was stunning."
Rebecca interjected.
"You don't have to decide right now. Think about it over the weekend."
Bentley nodded numbly, his mind racing with possibilities and concerns. That weekend became a period of intense self-reflection. Bentley spent hours pacing his apartment, alternating between excitement and terror at the prospect of bringing Lauren into the public eye. On Saturday night, he carefully applied foundation, contoured his face to soften his jawline, and added subtle eye makeup. He styled his brown hair with soft waves, falling just past his shoulders. A high-quality wig he'd invested in months earlier. The blue cocktail dress that had caused all the commotion now hung on his body rather than the mannequin. He studied his reflection, seeing Lauren emerge. There was something powerful in this transformation, something he'd only ever experienced in private.
"Can I really do this?"
he asked his reflection. On Monday morning, Bentley arrived at work in his usual attire, gray slacks and a blue button-down, and went directly to Gregory's office.
"I'll do it,"
he announced without preamble, "but I have conditions." Gregory raised an eyebrow.
"I'm listening."
"I want creative input on the outfits. I want a professional stylist and makeup artist. And most importantly, I want to keep my day job. This is an addition to my marketing role, not a replacement."
"Agreed on all counts,"
Gregory replied with a smile.
"The photographer is available next Saturday. We'll set everything up at the studio downtown."
The week passed in a flurry of preparations. Bentley reviewed the clothing selections for the shoot, collaborated with the creative team on concepts, and continued his regular marketing duties, despite the whispers that still followed him through the office. Saturday arrived with a mix of clouds and sunshine, matching Bentley's conflicted emotions as he entered the downtown studio. The space was transformed into a professional photography setup, with lighting equipment, backdrop stations, and racks of clothing from the Spectrum line. a woman with vibrant red hair approached him immediately. "Bentley? I'm Diana, head of styling. We've set up a dressing area for you. When you're ready, the makeup team will get started." The next 2 hours were a whirlwind of activity. Sitting in the makeup chair, Bentley watched as his features were subtly reshaped, his brown hair styled into flowing waves, and his nails painted a soft mauve to match the first outfit selection. As the transformation progressed, he felt Lauren emerging, not as a disguise, but as another facet of himself. When he finally stepped onto the set wearing a flowing maxi skirt in deep purple paired with a cream-colored blouse, the room momentarily fell silent.
"Stunning,"
the photographer murmured, adjusting his camera.
"Absolutely perfect for the campaign."
The first few poses were awkward, with Bentley feeling self-conscious under the studio lights. But gradually, now she, found a rhythm. Lauren moved with increasing confidence, the camera capturing moments of genuine joy that surprised even her.
"That's it,"
the photographer encouraged. "Show us who Lauren really is." By the third outfit change, a tailored pantsuit with feminine details that complemented her figure perfectly, Lauren was fully present, her movements natural and expressive. The camera loved her, and she found herself loving the camera in return. Gregory arrived midway through the shoot, watching from behind the monitors with undisguised approval.
"This is exactly what the campaign needed,"
he told the art director.
"Authenticity, reality, beautiful."
When the day wrapped, Lauren changed back into Bentley's clothes, but something had shifted. The boundary between these two aspects of himself felt more permeable than ever before. 3 weeks later, the marketing team gathered for the campaign reveal. The conference room filled with anticipation as Gregory stood to address the group.
"What you're about to see represents not just a new clothing line, but a new direction for Prism Apparel," he began. "We've always claimed to value individuality and self-expression. Today, we prove it."
The lights dimmed, and the presentation began. On the large screen, images appeared one by one, Lauren in various outfits from the Spectrum line, her brown hair catching the light, her expressions ranging from contemplative to joyful. The photographs were striking, professional, and undeniably powerful. The room erupted in applause when the presentation concluded. Bentley, sitting quietly at the back, felt a combination of pride and vulnerability as colleagues turned to congratulate him.
"These are going live next week,"
Gregory announced.
"Billboards,
online campaigns, social media, the full treatment. And Bentley, as agreed, all the clothes from the shoot are yours to keep." The photo shoot that Bentley had assumed would be a one-time event became the start of something unexpected. The Spectrum campaign launched to immediate positive response, with engagement rates exceeding all projections. Messages poured in from customers who felt seen and represented for the first time. Sales of the new line surpassed forecasts by nearly 40% in the first month. By the third week, Gregory called Bentley into his office again. "The public wants more Lauren," he said without preamble. "Social media is buzzing. We've had 3 fashion magazines request interviews. This is bigger than we anticipated." Bentley shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "I'm not sure I'm ready for that level of exposure." "You'd retain full control over the narrative," Gregory assured him. "And we're prepared to adjust your job description. Marketing specialist and brand ambassador, with appropriate compensation adjustments." The proposal was tempting. The photo shoot had awakened something in Bentley, a desire to integrate the parts of himself he'd kept separated for so long. And practically speaking, the clothing he'd brought home from the shoot had doubled his wardrobe with high-quality pieces he could never have afforded otherwise.
"Let me think about it," he requested.
That evening, Bentley sat in his apartment, surrounded by the clothes from the shoot, flowing skirts, elegant blouses, tailored jackets designed to flatter any body type. Each piece represented not just fashion, but freedom. He reached for his phone and typed a message to Gregory.
"Lauren accepts the position of brand ambassador, with the understanding that Bentley Morgan remains marketing specialist. We're a package deal."
The response came almost immediately.
"Wouldn't have it any other way. Contract details tomorrow."
The following months brought changes Bentley could never have predicted. His marketing role evolved to focus specifically on the Spectrum line, while Lauren became increasingly public-facing. Magazine features led to speaking engagements at fashion industry events, where Lauren shared her story of self-acceptance. The company arranged for professional coaching, walking, speaking, movement, to help Lauren present confidently in public. Each session further integrated this aspect of Bentley's identity, until the distinction began to blur in his own mind. 6 months into the campaign, Bentley received an unexpected invitation to represent Prism Apparel at Fashion Forward, one of the industry's premier events showcasing innovative approaches to design and marketing.
"They want both of us there,"
Gregory explained.
"Bentley, the marketing strategist, to participate in the business panel, and Lauren to walk in the showcase featuring boundary-breaking campaigns."
The prospect was both thrilling and terrifying. Both of us at the same event? Isn't that complicated?
"Life is complicated,"
Gregory replied with a shrug.
"Our customers know your story. Authenticity is our brand now."
The event was scheduled for the following month at an upscale hotel downtown. Bentley spent weeks preparing, developing his presentation for the business panel, while working with stylists to select Lauren's outfit for the showcase. The day of Fashion Forward arrived with perfect early autumn weather. Bentley attended the morning sessions in a charcoal suit, delivering his presentation on inclusive marketing strategies to industry professionals. His confident delivery and innovative approaches earned appreciative nods from executives of competing brands. At lunchtime, he slipped away to a private room where the transformation team waited. 2 hours later, Lauren emerged in a stunning emerald green gown with subtle geometric patterns, a centerpiece from the Spectrum line's evening wear collection. Her brown hair was styled in an elegant updo, makeup enhancing her features without overwhelming them. Walking onto the showcase stage that evening, Lauren felt hundreds of eyes following her movements. The spotlight illuminated her path as the announcer described Prism Apparel's groundbreaking approach to inclusive fashion. With each step, she embodied the confidence that had once seemed impossible. After the showcase, at the networking reception, Lauren found herself approached by representatives from other fashion houses, all interested in the story behind the campaign. "The authenticity is what makes it powerful," explained a creative director from a major European brand. "How did Prism convince you to become the face of the campaign?" Lauren smiled, sipping her sparkling water. "They didn't have to convince me. They simply created space for me to exist." As the evening wound down, Lauren noticed a woman watching her from across the room. After a moment, the woman approached, introducing herself as Elise Laurent, founder of Laurent Design House. "Your campaign caught my attention months ago," Elise said, her French accent subtle but distinguishable. "But seeing you in person, the way you carry yourself, the genuine comfort you project, that's what impresses me most." "Thank you," Lauren replied, genuinely flattered by recognition from such an established figure in the industry. "My company is launching a new division focused on adaptive fashion, clothing designed for all bodies, all identities. We need a consultant who understands both the marketing and the lived experience." Elise handed Lauren a business card. "If you're interested in expanding your horizons beyond Prism, call me." Later that night, as Bentley removed Lauren's makeup in his hotel room, he stared at his reflection in the mirror. The lines between his two expressions of self had blurred significantly over the months. Lauren was no longer a secret hobby or even an alter ego. She had become an integral part of his identity, one that had opened doors he never imagined possible. The next week, back at Prism headquarters, Bentley requested a meeting with Gregory and Rebecca.
"I received an offer from Laurent Design House,"
he explained, sliding Elise's proposal across the desk.
"They want me as a consultant for their new adaptive fashion line. Not just Lauren, but Bentley too. My marketing expertise combined with my personal perspective."
Gregory studied the offer, his expression thoughtful.
"This is significant. Laurent is a major player globally."
He looked up.
"Are you considering it?"
"I am," Bentley admitted. "But I don't want to leave Prism completely. You gave Lauren a chance when most companies would have fired me over that video call incident." Rebecca leaned forward. "What if we created a flexible arrangement? You remain Prism's brand ambassador while consulting for Laurent part-time? It could strengthen our industry positioning to have our spokesperson collaborating with international brands." The negotiation took weeks, but ultimately resulted in an unprecedented arrangement. Bentley would maintain his position at Prism while serving as a consultant to Laurent Design House, becoming a bridge between companies usually considered competitors. The fashion industry took notice, with trade publications featuring articles about collaborative approaches to inclusive design. As fall turned to winter, Bentley found himself living a life he couldn't have imagined a year earlier. His calendar alternated between marketing meetings as Bentley and photo shoots, or consulting sessions as Lauren. The blue cocktail dress that had accidentally started this journey hung in a special place in his closet, a reminder of how a single moment of exposure had led to genuine freedom. On the anniversary of the fateful video call, Bentley, dressed as Lauren in a crimson wrap dress from the newest Spectrum collection, gave an interview to Fashion Forward magazine. The journalist asked what she considered the most significant change in her life over the past year. Lauren thought for a moment, her brown hair falling softly around her shoulders. "The most significant change isn't external, though there have been many visible changes. It's internal. I no longer feel divided against myself. Lauren isn't a disguise or an act. She's me, expressing a part of myself I kept hidden for too long." "And Bentley?" the journalist prompted. "Also me," she replied with a smile. Different expressions of the same person. The greatest gift of this past year has been the freedom to integrate these aspects of myself, to be whole rather than fragmented. The article, published with a striking portrait of Lauren wearing her signature confident smile, became one of the magazine's most shared features of the year. Messages poured in from readers who found courage in her journey toward authenticity. One evening, as Lauren prepared for a major industry event, she received a text from Rebecca. "Have you seen the numbers for today's launch?" The newest Spectrum collection had released that morning, designs Lauren had consulted on extensively. She quickly checked the sales dashboard on her tablet. The figures were extraordinary. Opening day sales had broken all previous records for the company. The message thread continued with congratulations from the entire marketing team. The last message was from Gregory. "This is what happens when we allow people to be their authentic selves. You've transformed more than just your own life this year." Lauren set her phone down and turned to the mirror, making final adjustments to her outfit. A sophisticated black jumpsuit with subtle structural details. Her brown hair framed her face in soft waves, and her makeup enhanced rather than masked her features. In the reflection, she saw neither disguise nor performance, but simply herself, integrated, authentic, whole. The accident that had exposed her secret had ultimately freed her from the confines of secrecy itself. As she prepared to represent both Prism and Laurent at the evening's industry gala, Lauren smiled at her reflection. Life had taken an unexpected turn, but for the first time, she was moving through the world as her complete self, professional and personal aspects no longer artificially separated. The blue dress that started it all might hang in her closet as a memento, but its significance had transformed. What once represented a hidden part of herself now symbolized the beginning of a journey toward wholeness, proof that sometimes the most frightening moments of exposure can lead to the most profound freedom.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!